I barely graduated high school. Like I stopped going to school. I was, it totally, without even, I was the last person to realize I had a problem too.
Mm.
But like I said, I got in trouble when I was 16 years old. I think you put it in the notes and stuff, but night before Thanksgiving, it's a big night. Actually, I'm coming up on my anniversary for that 24 years ago. It'll be this
Wow.
Thanksgiving morning. The night before Thanksgiving, it's a big night in my town. I think it's a big night in most towns. And certainly where I grew up. And I was 16. I was with my older cousins and snuck into the local bar in town, Finn McCool's in Port Washington. And a fight broke out with my cousins and spilled into the street. And I woke up, Thanksgiving morning with a first degree assault of a police officer. And that was
Whoa,
my first, that was my first foray into trouble. And it was a real big one. It was a real whopper. But,
man, that is
all the,
that is
yeah,
a hell of a first arrest, man. Like usually it's like throwing crab apples at a cop car or like stealing hood
right. Yeah.
ornaments or something like that. No, you
Yeah,
went
I
all in.
skipped all those fun things, or I didn't get caught for all those fun things, and I fast forwarded right to a real whopper, like I said, and all the I was a skinny little 16-year-old kid, and like all the, I guess, lack of better, the tough guys in town started looking at me a lot differently, like, wow, look at this guy, he's all
Oh
right,
yeah.
like,
So now
come
you
on, come take a look at me.
so now you obtained some power, some notoriety, so to speak.
Notoriety is a better word. Yeah, power. I
Yeah.
wouldn't say power, but yeah, it's
Yeah.
definitely some notoriety. I mean, to be honest, that event changed the course of my life, changed the trajectory of my life.
Mm.
I was a captain of my baseball team, the varsity baseball team, and I was missing games because I was going to court. For this, I was in court for a long time, and we fought it, whatever, and it was. Like I said, it changed the direct trajectory of my life. Like I said, everyone started looking at me different. Notoriety, I think that's a perfect word for it. And,
Mm.
grew up in a small town, Long Island, and everyone knew each other and everyone knew what happened. And that changed everything for me, for
Yeah.
sure.
So was there you wake up in the morning and you cop this charge? Was there any fear or were you like, let's keep going?
Fear, I don't know. I mean, I know I was in a lot of trouble. I
Mm.
know I was in a lot of trouble. In fact, you remember certain things in your life. And I remember being in the bullpen of this in Mineola, uh, courthouse, and it is Thanksgiving morning. And I remember walking into the. I got in there probably around 5 o'clock in the morning after getting booked in port, and they bring me to the Mineola, and I remember going into the jail, and there's a big bullpen. There's probably like 30 guys in there, and they're like, what are you here for? Would you get a DWI or something? And I was like, no, I didn't get a DWI. Well, what are you here for? And I was like, I assaulted a police officer. And like, even in there, they're like, whoa, boy's crazy, man. Yeah, all right, he's
Whoa.
okay. Like right away.
Yeah.
And so that happened. But going in, and then you have to wake up and go and get in front of the judge. And I remember there was the one of the guards. He looked at me because like I said, I was 16 and I looked probably 14, maybe, I don't know.
Mhm.
And he goes, how old are you? And I said, I'm 16. And he looked me right in the eye and he said, nice effing life. Nice effing life. He was so mad. He was so upset. Like, this young kid's in here for that. And I
Mhm.
remember that as clear as day right now. And I went in front of the judge and, and right, my dad had to come pick me up. That's another thing I'll never forget. Looking back, I'm handcuffed to a bunch of other guys, and looking back, and he sees a 16-year-old. Thanksgiving, we're supposed to go have some turkey in a few hours, and this is what's starting off his day.
Yeah. So what did mom and dad say?
It's funny. My dad, I remember when I was like getting booked, and the cop called him. So, this is after it was all done, and he called him, and he's like, "Here, talk to your dad." And I told him what happened, and he's like, "All right, put the cop on the phone." And I put him on the phone, and all I heard was my dad yelling at the cop. um,